Once upon a time, in a world not so different from ours, lived a girl named Elara. She was a cheerful soul, with eyes as bright as sunny afternoons and a laugh that sounded like wind chimes. But the most remarkable thing about Elara wasn't her smile or her laughter. It was her shadow. Her shadow was her best friend. There. It was long and lean at sunrise, short and stout at noon, and stretched out like a lazy cat in the evening. They danced together in meadows, played hide-and-seek among the trees, and mimicked the flight of birds. Elara's shadow was a perfect dark silhouette, a constant and loyal companion. One day, while wandering through a quiet, forgotten part of town, Elara noticed a boy sitting alone on a stone bench. His name was Leo. He sat perfectly still, his head bowed. And what was most peculiar was that, even under the brilliant midday sun, he cast no shadow at all. It was as if the light passed right through him, leaving nothing behind. Curious and kind-hearted, Elara approached him. "Hello," she said gently. "I'm Elara. I noticed you don't have a shadow." Leo looked up, his eyes filled with a quiet sadness. "I lost it," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "It just disappeared one morning. Now, everything feels empty. I feel like a ghost, like I'm not really here." Elara's heart ached for him. She looked at her own shadow, dancing playfully at her feet, and then back at the empty space beside Leo. She knew how much her shadow meant to her, all it made her feel whole and connected to the world. She couldn't imagine being without it. "When I'm sad," Elara said, "my shadow gives me a hug. It gets very close and wraps around my feet. When I'm happy, it jumps with me. It's my partner in everything." Leo sighed. "I remember that. We used to race each other. Now, ... there's just nothing." An idea, as bright and bold as the sun itself, sparked in Elara's mind. It was a wild, unheard-of idea, but it felt right. She took a deep breath and knelt beside Leo. "I have enough shadow for two," she declared with a determined smile. "I want to share mine with you." Leo looked at her, bewildered. "Share your shadow? Is that even possible?" Elara wasn't sure, but she was willing to try. She stood up, took Leo's hand, and pulled him to his feet. She whispered to her shadow, which had been listening intently. "Go on," she encouraged it. "Just for a little while." She held her hand out flat, and, as if obeying, her shadow began to stretch. It peeled away from the ground, detaching itself from her feet. It rippled like dark silk, then split neatly down the middle. Mud. One half stayed with Elara, a little thinner, a little paler, but still very much hers. The other half floated gently through the air and settled at Leo's feet. It attached itself, wobbling for a moment, before steadying. There, on the pavement, was a shadow his shadow. It was a perfect copy of him, mirroring his every move. He took a hesitant step, and the shadow followed. He waved his hand, and the shadow waved back. A slow, wondrous smile spread across Leo's face, the first he had worn in a very long time. He wiggled his fingers, and his new shadow wiggled its fingers back. It's me," he breathed, his eyes shining with tears of joy. He looked at Elara, his heart overflowing with gratitude. "You have no idea what this means." From that day on, things changed. Leo was no longer the boy who wasn't there. With his shadow back, he felt anchored to the world again. He ran, he jumped, he played. He and Elara, along with their two half-shadows, became the best of friends. Their shadows, born from one, loved to play together. They would intertwine and dance, sometimes merging back into one complete shadow before splitting apart again. A beautiful, silent dance of friendship. Ilara's shadow was a little fainter, and Leo's was too, but they didn't mind. They knew that a shared shadow was far more valuable than a whole one kept to oneself. And so, the girl who shared her shadow taught everyone an important lesson. Kindness is a light that doesn't just illuminate others, it can give them a piece of the light itself, helping them feel whole again. And sometimes, sharing what you have, even something as simple as a shadow, is the most wonderful magic of all.